Hi yogis, welcome to today's full-length flow. Today we'll be focusing on twists. Get any props you would like, maybe some blocks, and then join me on the mat in a comfortable seat. Bring your hands to your knees, close down your eyes, sit up nice and tall, aligning your head over your heart and your heart over your pelvis. And just take these first few moments to notice yourself in this space. Notice your emotions and your mental state. Notice your physical body. And then lastly, bring your attention to your breath. And just observe for a few moments without judgment what your breath is like right now. And then start to work on a full body breath. So as you inhale, focus on filling up your torso with air, expanding outwards. And as you exhale, contract back in and bring your navel to spine. And inhale, expanding outwards. And exhale, contract back in. With each breath that you take, see if you can make the inhale a little deeper, a little longer, and each exhale drawn out for a little bit longer as well. So maybe start with a count of 3 and then expand from there. Making your inhale a count of 3 and matching your exhale with the same count of 3. On your next breath in, take the deepest breath that you've taken all day. And then release through the mouth as you exhale. Take one more. And then as you exhale, let your chin dip down towards your chest. You might feel a gentle stretch in the back of your neck here. And then take your head over to the left ear over left shoulder, and stretch through the right side of your neck. And maybe walk your right fingers out to the side for a deeper stretch. Take one more breath here. And then dip your chin back down towards your chest, walk your right hand in, and take your head over to the right ear over right shoulder. And just send a few breaths to the left side of the neck first. And then walk your left hand out to the side for a deeper stretch. And inhale, release your head back down, walk your left hand in, and just take a few half circles with your neck, pausing anywhere that feels tight, and send some extra breath to those areas. Take one more breath here, and then come back up to center. Inhale your arms down, around, and up overhead. Exhale your arms back down and keep your left hand on the mat. Reach your right arm up and over, stretching towards the left. One more inhale. And then exhale back up and over to the right. Right arm down, left hand up and over. Inhale. And then exhale back up to center. Inhale your arms down, around and up again. And this time exhale, twist towards the left. Right hand to left knee and left arm behind you, just gently propping you up. Inhale. And then as you exhale, see if you can twist a little bit more. One more breath. And then release back up to center and twist towards the right. Left hand to right knee and right arm behind you. Inhale. And then exhale. And twist a little deeper, twisting from the core here. Inhale. And then exhale back to center. Bring your hands to your knees. Inhale. Draw your heart forward for seated cow pose. Then exhale, round through your spine, seated cat. And inhale. And exhale. Take one more inhale. And exhale. And then back up to center. Keep your hands on your knees. And take your torso in nice large circles around your seat, moving nice and slow. And then switch directions, moving the opposite direction. And take one more round. And then come back up to center. Roll over your feet and come into tabletop. Hands underneath wrists, knees underneath hips. Inhale. Bring your heart between your hands, tailbone up to the ceiling. Cow pose. And exhale, round through your spine for cat. And inhale through cow. And exhale through cat. Take one more round. Inhale. And exhale. And then keep going, or start to find other movements that feel good right now. Maybe you need some more side body stretching. Or maybe you just stick with cat-cow. Take one more breath with whatever you're doing. And then take your feet together, knees apart, and sit back in a child's pose. As you inhale, feel your breath filling up your backside body. And then walk your hands over to the right side of your mat. And then walk your hands through center and over to the left. And come back to center for one more breath. And then on your next inhale, round through your spine, push into your hands to come up to your tabletop. And then exhale. Take your tailbone up to the ceiling, heart between your hands, and sit back, active child's pose. And curve through your spine, climb back up to your tabletop. Take one more inhale, coming back to your active child's pose, and exhale, round back up to your tabletop. And from here, plant your palms, tuck your toes under, and lift up your knees just slightly off the mat and hover. Hold for one more breath. And then release up and back to your downward dog. And when you get to your down dog, pedal out your feet. Let one heel drop towards the mat, and then the other. Finding a nice stretch through the backs of your legs. And then find some stillness here. Bend your knees as much as you need to. And then on your next inhale, take your right leg up into a three-legged dog. And exhale, stack your hips, open up, bend your knee. Inhale, and then exhale back up to your three-legged dog and release. And inhale your left leg up to a three-legged dog. Stack your hips, bend your left knee. And then release back to your three-legged dog, and then back to your down dog. From here, start to walk up to the top of your mat, forward fold. And once you get there, hang out for a few breaths. Grab opposite elbows. Let your head and neck hang heavy. Sway gently side to side. And then release your hands back down to the ground. Take your right hand underneath your nose. Bend your right knee. Twist towards the left. Left hand up to the ceiling. If it helps, you can also be up on a block here or up on your fingertips. Inhale, and then exhale back to center. Take your left hand underneath your nose, bend your left knee, and twist towards the right. One more breath, and then release back to your forward fold. Inhale, lift up to a flat back, and exhale, fold. Inhale, roll up to standing, nice and slow, all the way to the top, and then inhale your arms down, around, and up overhead. And when you reach the top, grab your left wrist, reach up and over to the right. And back up to center, grab your right wrist, reach up and over to the left. And back up to center, maybe take a slight back bend here. And then back up to center, twist towards the left, just a standing open twist, right arm in front of you, left hand behind you. And inhale back up to center, exhale to the right. Right hand behind you, left hand in front of you, and inhale up to center. Keep moving with your own breath, inhaling, and back up, and one more time, and back up to center. From here, sit back in your chair pose. Your hands can be in front of you, at your heart, up overhead. Inhale and then exhale. Maybe sink a little deeper into your chair. Hold for one more breath. And then release down to your forward fold. And inhale up to a flat back. And exhale, fold. Plant your palms, step back to a downward dog. On your next inhale, come up onto your tippy toes. Tuck your tailbone under and start to wave your spine forward to a high plank. And exhale, bend your knees. Come back up to your downward dog. Take a couple more with your own breath. Inhale. And exhale. Take one more. And meet back in a downward dog. Inhale your right leg up to a three-legged dog. Exhale, shift forward, knee to nose. Hold here for a moment. And then bring your foot through your hands. Low lunge on the right side, so lower your back knee. And just spend a few moments in the stretch. You can always have blocks here by both feet. Inhale. And then exhale, plant your left palm on the mat or on a block. Twist toward the right, right arm up. One more breath. And then back to center. Walk your hips back. Straighten through your right leg. Fold forward over your right leg. Stay here or on an inhale. Lift and lengthen. And exhale, bend. Inhale. And exhale. Take one more flow. Inhale. And exhale. And come back through to your lunge. Plant your palms, come back to half plank or full plank. Inhale. And then exhale, come up and back to your downward dog. On your next inhale, take your left leg up to a three-legged dog. And shift forward, knee to nose, hold. And then come through to your low lunge on the left. And hold on the side for a couple breaths. Plant your right palm on the mat or on a block. Twist towards the left. Left arm up to the ceiling. One more breath. And then release back to your lunge. Start to shift your hips backwards, straighten through your left leg, and fold forward over your left leg. Stay here or inhale, lift and lengthen, and exhale, fold. And inhale, and exhale, and take one more inhale, and exhale, fold. And then back through to your lunge, plant your palms, make your way to plank or half plank. Inhale, and then exhale, lower to the ground. Coming onto your belly, hands underneath your shoulders, press into the tops of your feet, and inhale up to cobra. And exhale, release. Inhale up to cobra. And release. Take one more. Pause at the top. Lift up your hands, hold. And then release back down. And press yourself up and back. Take a child's pose. Coming back to your breath here. And when you're ready, press back up to your tabletop. And you might bring your feet together, knees apart, and reach your left arm forward or up. Some people prefer up. Inhale, and then exhale, thread your left hand underneath your right arm. Left shoulder comes to the mat. Press into the mat with your right hand. And then exhale, press back up. And take the other side. Right arm reaches forward or up. And then thread your right arm underneath your left shoulder. And left hand comes to the mat. And then press back up to center. Take a cat-cow here if you'd like. Inhale and exhale. And then tuck your toes under, lift your knees up, hold for a breath, and then press up and back to your downward dog. Stay still or pedal out your legs. And then start to walk up to the front of your mat, forward fold. And take your right hand underneath your nose, bend your right knee, twist towards the left arm up. Notice if it's easier to twist here now that we've been practicing for a bit. And back to your forward fold. Plant your left palm and bend your left knee, twist towards the right. And release back to center. Inhale, lift up to a flat back, and exhale, fold, and roll up to standing, one vertebrae at a time. Once you get to the top, take your arms down, around, and up overhead, and exhale, sit back in your chair. Take your hands to your heart, and twist towards the left, right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Try and keep your weight even in both feet here. One more breath, inhale, and then exhale back up to center, and twist towards the right. Left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Inhale, exhale back to center. Hold your chair for one more pose, or one more breath. And then exhale, release back up to standing. If you need to, shake it out. And then find Tadasana. Maybe take a moment here to pause, come back to your breath. And then when you're ready, shift over to your right foot and draw your left knee into your chest. Circle your ankle one way and then the other. And then take an open twist to start, so keep your left hand on your knee, twist towards the right. Right hand behind you. And back to center, and twist towards the left, right hand on your knee. Left arm reaches behind you. And back to center. One more breath. And then release back down, shake it out. And then shift over to the left. And draw your right knee into your chest. And circle your ankle one way. And then the other. And then start with an open twist. So keep your right hand on your knee, twisting towards the left. One more breath, and then back to center. And twist towards the right. Left hand stays on your knee. Right hand opens up behind you. Inhale. Exhale back to center. One more breath. And then release back down. And come back to the top of your mat in Tadasana. Inhale your arms down, around and up overhead. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, lift up to a flat back. And exhale, fold. Bend your knees, plant your palms, step back to a downward dog. On your next inhale, take your left leg up to a three-legged dog. And shift forward, knee to nose, coming through to a lunge. Maybe a high lunge this time if you're feeling warm enough. Your hands can stay low to the ground, or you can inhale your hands up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your arms down and around, back to frame your foot. Plant your right palm, twist towards the left arm up towards the ceiling. And release back to center. Plant your palms, come back to plank, or lower your knees for half plank, and then press up and back, downward dog. And take a breath here. And then your next inhale, take your right leg up to a three-legged dog and shift forward, knee to nose. And then come through to a high lunge on the right side. And keep your arms low to the ground, or inhale your arms up overhead. One more breath. Circle your arms down and around. Plant your left palm, twist towards the right. And then release back down to frame your foot. Come back to high plank or low plank, half plank with your knees lowered. Inhale, and then exhale, lower down to the ground. Hands underneath your shoulders, press into the tops of your feet, and inhale up to cobra. And exhale, release. And press yourself up and back, take a child's pose. Use this pose to come back to your breath. Coming back to the breath that fills up your backside body. Stay here longer if you'd like, or press back up to your tabletop. Tuck your toes under, lift your tailbone up, downward dog. And inhale your right leg up to a three-legged dog. Exhale, shift forward, knee to nose, and then coming back through to another high lunge or low lunge. And when you're ready, take your arms up overhead. And then take a twist, twisting open to the right. Right hand opens up behind you. And if this is feeling too unstable, you can also try an open twist, or come back to the ground twist where Your palm is on the ground. One more breath here. And then release back to frame your foot. Plant your palms. Come back to plank. And then up and back, downward dog. And inhale your left leg up to a three-legged dog. Shift forward, knee to nose. And high lunge. And when you're ready, take your arms up overhead. And then twist open to the left. Left arm behind you. And release back to frame your foot. Plant your palms. Come back to a plank. And then from here, lower your knees. Maybe walk your knees back a little bit. Take your hands to the corners of your mat. And then take your hips back. And bring your heart to earth. Your forehead might come to the mat or to a block. And then release from your puppy pose. From here, if you'd like, you can take a child's pose. Or come back and meet in a downward dog. And then from here, walk your hands to the back of your mat. Forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to. And take your left hand underneath your nose, bend your left knee. Right hand up, twisting towards the right. And then release back to your forward fold. Right hand underneath your nose, bend your right knee, and twist towards the left. And then release back to your forward fold. Maybe grab opposite elbows, sway side to side. And then release, inhale up to a flat back. And exhale, fold. And inhale, roll all the way up to standing, nice and slow. Take your arms down, around, and up overhead. Exhale your hands down to heart center. Maybe close down the eyes. Inhale. And then exhale, blink your eyes open, release your hands. Come back to your Tadasana. Shift over to the left and grow your tree on the right. So maybe you bring your foot right up to your leg. Maybe you bring your right foot to your calf, or maybe you keep your toes on the ground and heel at your ankle. Your hands can be at your heart or up overhead. And then last part, see if you can find an uplifted gaze here. And then stay here, or find a leaning tree. So take your right hand to your knee and lean up and over to the right. And back up to center and gently, or not so gently, release back down, shake it out. And then shift over to the right and grow your tree on the left, either from the ground up. Your toes might be on the ground, or your foot might be at your calf, or up above the knee. And then stay here or find a leaning tree. Take your left hand, gently rest on your left leg. Reach your right arm up and over to the left. then release, back up and around. Shake it out if you need to. Come back to your breath. Come to a wide stance here, so you might turn around so your feet are on the long side of your mat. Turn your toes out to start. Take your hands to your hips. Inhale, maybe take a slight back bend. And then exhale, take a wide leg forward fold. Maybe your hands come to blocks here. Round through your back, release your head and your neck, and bend your knees as much as you need to. Take your right hand underneath your nose, twist towards the left arm up to the sky. And then release back down. Left hand underneath your nose, arm up, twisting towards the right. And then release back down. Back to your forward fold. And then walk your hands over to your right foot. Start to bend through your right knee, just slightly, not too deeply. And then straighten through your right leg, walk your hands up and over to the left, and take a slight bend through your left knee. Walk your hands back to center for one more breath. Inhale and exhale. And then heel toe your feet in slightly. And then start to bend your knees, sink your hips down towards the ground, coming into Malasana. So maybe your hands are at your heart, or maybe you walk your hands forward and take more of a rounded pose. One more breath here. And then gently release. Take your hands behind you and come to a seat. And then come to lie on your back. When you get there, bring your knees into your chest and rock side to side gently. And then from here, come into happy baby, so feet into the air. Grab the tops or bottoms of your feet, bend your knees. Maybe rock gently side to side here. Lengthen your tailbone down towards the mat. And then release your feet back down. Keep your feet flat on the mat. Take your left leg up into the air. Once again, circle your ankle one way, and then the other, and then bend your knee, cross your left ankle over your right knee, and stay here, or lift up your right leg, and come into reclined pigeon. You can close your eyes here if it's comfortable. Inhale. And then exhale, release your foot back down to the ground, but don't uncross your leg just yet. From here, be very mindful of your knees, but start to take your right knee down to the ground, and your left foot will come flat on the floor. You're leaning over towards the right, so your right knee is on the ground on the side, and your left foot is flat on the ground. Press back up so your right foot is back flat on the floor, and uncross your left leg. And then take your right leg up into the air, circle one way, and then the other. And then cross your right ankle over your left knee. And stay here or lift up your left leg for a reclined pigeon. And close down the eyes if it's comfortable. And then gently release your left foot back down to the ground, but keep your left foot flat on the floor. And then start to lower your left knee over to the left until your right foot comes flat on the ground. Grab your right ankle and either draw your foot in closer or farther away. This can be a really intense pose, so situate how you need to for your own body. And if anything, especially if your knees are twinging, go ahead and come out of the pose. And then gently press back up to center and uncross your legs. And then windshield wiper your legs back and forth. So just drop your knees to one side and then bring them up and over to the other side. And take one more time each way. And then come back to center. Take your arms out wide into a T. Shift your hips over to the left and let both knees fall over to the right. Recline twist. Inhale. And exhale, bring your knees back up to center. Bring your hips through center and over to the right. And then let both knees fall over to the left. And bring your knees back up to center. Bring your hips back to center as well. You can bring your hands back by your side. Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall open outwards. Recline to cobbler's pose. Then you can bring your hands to your belly and focus on your breath as you inhale, feeling your hands rise up. And as you exhale, feel them gently falling back down. Take your hands underneath your knees, bring your knees back up together, and then settle into your Shavasana, either with your feet flat on the floor or stretching your legs out long, bringing your hands by your side, and closing down the eyes. Start to come back to your breath. Inhale and exhale. Bring some movement back. Wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Move your arms and your legs. And then roll over to one side. And pause here for a couple breaths. And when you're ready, nice and slowly press back up to your seat. And when you get there, bring your hands to your knees, sit up nice and tall. Take a nice deep breath in and a long breath out. Just take a moment to notice how you feel physically, mentally, and emotionally right now. And on your next inhale, circle your arms down, around and up overhead. And exhale your hands down to heart center. Bow your head to your heart. Take these last few breaths of our practice into your heart space. End your practice with a thought of gratitude for someone or something, or maybe gratitude for your practice today. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Release back upright and blink your eyes open. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your night.